Hey guys, this episode of the Smoking Tire Podcast is brought to you by Dylan Optics. You know those awesome sunglasses you see me wearing all the time with the cool matte finishes? Them's some Dylan Optics. And these sunglasses aren't just cool looking, they are functional. The NIR lens technology really helps your eyes stay focused at the end of a long day, keep from getting tired and toasted out. I wear them all day, every day when I'm out in the sun, and I'm really about them. They come in plastic frames, metal frames, big sizes, small sizes, with 5 or 6 different colors for those cool matte finish lenses. But to get them, go to thesmokingtire.com and click on the Partners tab. And if you use that link there, I'll give you a free Smoking Tire t-shirt for every pair of Dylan Optics sunglasses you order. Okay, how about Beeline Coffee? We drink it in the studio. I drink it at home. It is delicious. It is nutritious. I don't know if I can legally call it nutritious, but it's at least as nutritious as any other coffee. And they got light roast, dark roast, espresso roast. I got my own roast. That's right, the Smoking Tire roast. Code TST will get you 15% off your entire order at BeelineCoffee.com, no matter how big, no matter how small, whether it's just one bag, a half pound, or a giant subscription, or like 50 pounds of the stuff. Whatever it is, TST, code TST will get you 15% off your entire order at BeelineCoffee.com. And of course, I know I keep saying it, but I need you guys to hear it. If you're into watches, check out my new podcast, Watch and Listen. I host it with Cameron Weiss, the master watchmaker. YouTube.com/Watch and Listen podcast, all written out. Or find it on Shout Engine, find it on iTunes, find it wherever you get podcasts on Android. Watch and Listen. We go inside the nitty gritty of watches. It is a video show too. If you're interested in a visual to go along with it, Cameron can take things apart on our little microscope cam. It's really interesting. Check that out, Watch and Listen podcast. Okay, on this episode of the show, our old pals Paul and Todd from our favorite everyday motoring series, Everyday Driver. We love these guys. They really fill a wonderful niche in the market, and they're always fan favorites. We're happy to have them in studio every time they're in town. Paul and Todd of Everyday Driver on this episode of the Smoking Tire Podcast. Are we rolling? Is this the show?
We speeding, man.
We speeding. This is the show. Smoking Tire Podcast. Bienvenue. Welcome. What's happening? We had to adjust all the mics because we're all tall today.
Yeah, that's right. Here today.
Paul and Todd from Everyday Driver in studio. For those who don't know, this is a Todd and this is a Paul.
Yeah, hey guys. Yeah, awesome. Thanks for having us
Video's
back.
good, right? This is a good thing for you guys?
Yeah.
We've been on video a couple times. We'll be okay. Yeah.
You've done it once or twice. Yeah. Some people, like, they you know, they're able to do, like the people who I love on the show who are great at radio.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have to, like, help them not see the cameras because they...
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Radio guys.
Radio guys. You got a face for radio.
It's nice to have you guys back. I saw you roll up in that Kia Stinger.
We did.
Is it a GT Deuce? GT2?
It is. That's a press car. We're shooting that and getting busy with the comparison. With the Stinger.
Somebody was just in here recently who had done the Stinger launch, and they brought us some Stinger Stroop waffles. You seen the Energy Stroop waffles?
No.
Yeah.
We were part of the launch.
That you cover
was
your
the launch in the ring or not?
No, it was whatever the domestic launch was, and I wasn't invited to either. Pull up is it /Everyday Driver Instagram?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Instagram /Everyday Driver.
Nice.
You can check out Paul and Todd's recent Los Angeles hijinks, and as you can see in that photograph, we have had some glorious skies in the last week.
The rain's cleared everything up. It's been
how
beautiful.
fortunate for you guys to be filming this week.
Yeah,
some great skies.
Yeah, it was amazing.
What is that, a 430?
Yep.
430i. Yep.
Versus the Stinger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly the
Kia
same
calls
price.
this car out on their website as the comparison
They
car.
call the 4 out. Of course, they call the 440 out, but the 430.
Is that the 6 or the 4 cylinder? What do you got there? That's the 4 cylinder.
Exactly the same price as the Stinger, which made a very
that's good.
Yeah.
I would be the guy who compares by spec. I like that you are the people who compare by price. Someone's got to do that job. I'm glad you guys do.
We do.
Well, but we know that it's going to get compared to the 440 from the spec side. Okay. But the whole discussion of the Kia, let's be honest, is look at everything we're giving you for $50,000. So, okay, what's the BMW equivalent?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
You know? And This show won't be out. You can. It'll be a couple weeks.
Yes, but that'll be a few months for season 3 of TV.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you? Well,
we gotta hold something.
Come on, throw
here.
your boy a bone here. Scoop yourselves a little bit.
Well, have you driven the Kia?
No.
Oh,
Really?
you haven't?
No, I haven't.
The Stinger. I like that.
I want to. There hasn't been a real reason I haven't,
Look,
but I would like to.
I said this as part of my review. I kind of saw this car coming for a long time by virtue of the people that they hired, the designers, and great design.
Didn't they steal a BMW guy?
They stole
for the Dynamics, yes.
The Dynamics guy's a BMW guy, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Designers from BMW as well. The guy who designed the X5.
Okay.
Sang-Yup Lee, who designed the new Camaro, so the Gen 5 Camaro, and Luke
6.
Donkervolka.
We're on 6.
Well, we're on 6, but the prior, when it was a little bit bigger.
The Transformers one?
I guess so. If that's 5, you can consider that 5.
The 2010 was 5.
Yeah,
The 2016
exactly. That was his.
was 6, right?
Correct.
I'm not fucking crazy,
No, you're
right?
right. You're right.
Nope.
Okay.
You're right.
Nope, you're right. And then Luke from Lamborghini, he designed the Murcielago. All these guys work at
I'm
Kia.
glad you pronounced that correctly. No one puts the accent in the right place.
I try.
They all say Murcielago, which is wrong. Murcielago.
I've been working on this. I've had trouble on our own podcast, as a matter of
Yes, you
fact.
have. Yes, you
Can't
have.
pronounce this word, but I can pronounce Hacapolita. No
what?
problem.
I'm sorry, what?
The Nokia.
Nokia and Hacapolita tire. That's a word you just need.
Oh, is that a snow tire?
Yeah, it's the word you
It just
need.
rolls off.
Say it again.
Why would you have it?
Slow?
Hacapolita.
Hacapolita. Okay,
Yeah.
that's not that bad.
It's
Can
not
you
too
do the PDK? But out?
No way.
No,
I
can't do that.
embarrass
Porsche-
myself.
Can you, Tim? Can you pull up the full word PDK? It's like Porsche Doppelklumpenzing.
Exactly.
I
That's my
can't.
password.
Exactly right, yeah.
What is? Can someone? What is it actually? Oh, there it is.
There's
That's
yeah, a
it.
couple
Porsche
down.
Doppelkupplung. Doppelkupplung?
Yes.
Is that it?
Not bad.
Doppelkupplung.
You did pretty well. You did pretty
Can
well.
you do
yeah.
it better?
No.
Can't.
Definitely not.
Doppelkupplung. Ugh. My Americanness is really coming out on the other show, Studio B, the Watch podcast.
Studio B.
It's French stuff. Oh my
I'm
God,
sure.
I'm the worst.
That's awesome, though. I can't wait to join you for G-Shock Day.
We just decided that Paul's going to come back
This is gonna be great.
and have
Yes.
we're going to do G-Shock Day.
People ask about the blue
and I know
G-Shock.
what time it is because my phone tells me, and so did my
Listen,
computer screen. So I don't
we
even
both
watch.
know that watches are not about time telling.
This is true.
They're
Keep
not.
saying this.
It's man jewelry.
It is.
It's trophies.
Yep.
It says something about us.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if you're into cars, it's like having a little machine. You've got a little machine, and there's all kinds of different machines that do crazy shit. Yeah.
See, I'm of the demeanor that you don't have to like watches just because you like cars.
Of course you don't.
But,
no. Of course
Yeah,
you
certainly.
don't. But that
he
condescending,
covers-
my phone gives me the time horse shit. I'm tired of that.
Well,
You don't have to like watches, but you don't have to be a cockbag about it. Like you're better than us because you have a fucking phone that tells time.
no. I'm just
I
saying.
like
this
it
is
when
the
Matt
reason I
brings
don't
the
need one.
wood.
Anytime I post a picture of a watch on Instagram, it's like, oh well, I have a fucking iPhone, so yeah. Meanwhile,
I'm sure
you've got
you
a
get that.
$1,000 goddamn phone
Yeah.
that costs more than
Fair?
a nice watch.
No, fair.
You know?
Paul's
That's
Paul's
true.
been known to wear 2 watches, one on each wrist, just to balance me out.
you?
I like
Oh, yeah.
watches.
Do you do 2?
I've done 2, one on each
Really?
wrist.
Absolutely.
What are
Just
your-
to
And then
balance
when
the
When you
universe.
do
notice.
2, what are your 2?
Well, I'm a Bell and Ross guy. I really am.
Helicopter pilot.
Well, I'm between buying for looks and buying just for movement.
Yeah.
I'm doing my best to turn this into the
Bell
Watch
and Ross
podcast.
is
I know you
cool.
are. I know you are.
I'm working
yeah.
hard on
Listen,
it.
I'll sit here
I'm gonna
quietly
give
until we're
you
done.
What are you
Yeah.
rocking
60
today?
seconds. 60 seconds
Okay,
on
go.
watches and then back to cars.
That's fine.
All right.
All right.
So Bell and Ross
Yep.
is excellent. They're
I've
pretty.
got 2, as a matter of fact. The Blackbird and then the BR02, which is out of production.
Is that the square one?
It is.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
it's not the square. It's the one in between. It's kind of the squircle
Oh.
in between. You know
great
this
word.
word.
Squircle. Isn't that
Squircle.
awesome?
You know
Yeah.
this word.
Yeah, is it squircle a word for like octagon?
It's code word.
we just had on the show someone who I call the most interesting man in the world. Carl Muth is like a society guy, philanthropist. He's always perfectly dressed. He's like
Nice.
a man of taste, and
Okay.
he rolled up with a Bell and Ross
Excellent.
square Bell and Ross.
Rocking
Okay.
it.
That's a good watch. That's a watch guy's watch.
I agree.
And they're reasonably priced.
I agree.
For a watch of that, their prestige, I think, outweighs their entry price point, unlike some other watches that are the reverse.
complete opposite of that.
Yeah, like I had this Lang. Do you know what a Long and Son is?
Oh, yes.
Like,
would.
Oh, yeah.
They're like
He would
$50 to $100,000.
Okay.
And you put it on.
McLaren?
Yeah.
Or a watch?
Yeah.
Who are you?
And you put it on, and it disappears on your wrist.
Yeah.
And no one looks at it or gives a shit. And you go, what did I just spend all this fucking money on?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
That's true.
anyway, ding, back to cars. Kia Stinger.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Back to Kias.
You know
Come listen to Paul when he comes to G-Shock Day on
For
the
sure.
Watch and Listen
No, you should,
podcast.
for
Dig it.
The audience is going to be like, good, Matt. Control. Back to cars.
No, the Stinger's genuinely impressive.
Does it drive really good?
Yeah, it
does.
It's really impressive.
Does it have a good engine?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
it does.
I think
Similar to something else?
I think the BMW does a better job of their drivetrain as far as the engine and the transmission being faster, being more responsive. I think BMW still does that better.
Is the Stinger slushy? The slushy slush
Not
box?
really, no. But it's
Not
it's an
too
in-house
slushy.
8 versus the ZF calibrated by BMW. It can't keep up in that
Right.
regard. But the engine's genuinely powerful. It's powerful enough that every time you get fully into it, you're like, oh wait, that's the full power.
Yeah, I saw a video of one like showing a Mustang GT some taillights in a drag race.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a recent video.
What kind
Yeah.
of world do we live in when Kias are being compared to Mustangs?
I mean,
Welcome to the new
when
math.
you drove up, Tim and I were standing on the stairs, and when you drove up, we drove by and he said, if you change the grill and the rear a little bit and you called it a Jaguar, it would not be at all out of place. Look
Agreed.
at that,
Far off.
look at that
Agreed,
picture.
yeah.
That
Yeah,
I see.
agreed.
First off, I see a lot of RS7 in that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
How much
yeah.
RS7 do you see in the rear three-quarter of that
A lot.
vehicle? And then I see like
Proportions,
some
yeah.
Panamera, and I see some of this, and I see some of that, but it's not ugly, is it?
No,
No.
it's great looking.
That's
great
a good-looking car.
It's it's up there. It's very
So
impressive.
I mean, how does it ride and steer and all that kind of stuff?
It's still a big car. Todd and I were talking about the cars that it's
weighs?
4K.
4,000. Yeah.
4,000.
Yeah.
And it's one of those cars. It's big and it handles really well. It never starts to feel smaller though.
Pull that
It
up.
always
Yeah,
feels big.
that's the
It
issue.
never starts to feel small.
No.
it
You
doesn't
know,
shrink around you when you
Panamera
start driving.
is a great
just
example.
A big car.
Panamera.
Panamera will
Oh,
shrink
yeah.
around you. It becomes the 4-door 911.
We had a Panamera on a very small racetrack in Canada.
Here we
and
go.
It actually was shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this doesn't do that.
No, it
Doesn't
doesn't.
do that.
It doesn't get small, but
Unfortunately.
it actually handles really well. So if you're aware of the fact, hey, I'm in a big car, you drive it like a big car, but it's a really dynamic big car.
And fortunately, I also said we can stop saying now anything for a Kia. We're past that. We're over it. Any
It's just
lavish
good.
praise
It's
or
just
whatever
good,
it
full
is,
stop.
it's just
Yeah.
a good car.
Yeah,
Be
it's-
very interested to see one in 2 years that has 50,000 miles on it. Right.
That's fair. No,
You
that's
know?
very
Sure.
fair. Absolutely.
Because there's been a lot of recently. I think Hyundai's been pretty good. I've driven a couple higher mileage Genesis coupes, and they
Okay.
seem
Have
to
you?
yeah they seem to hold up
Hold
pretty
up,
good.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Nice.
drove one with like 125,000 on it,
Really?
and it was fine. Yeah, it
Good.
was all right. Held
Good.
up pretty good. So like I
Interesting.
kind of look forward to that, but like that's where you know
Sure.
some companies still struggle with that. The initial
Once you get
quality is
past-
good, but it's just like
That's what I keep saying.
Yeah,
it falls off a cliff, at a certain point.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Of course, it's good initial quality.
Minis.
Yeah.
Minis are great, brand new minis.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then,
except for, have you heard of my
yeah,
my car?
I was poking around your little YouTube channel today there. YouTube.com/everydaydriver, of course.
Yes.
You bought a winter beater. It's a mini.
Yeah.
Is that why you know the necks and tires? Did you put those on the mini? Is that
No,
why?
I didn't put the Nokia
No,
on
we
there.
just
I
talked
have-
about
no
tires.
Sorry.
But the mini
Tell
is
us about your beater.
It is. I was looking for $5,000 in general. Okay, and we don't recommend that a ton. But the big thing we say when people are looking for $5,000 cars or less is you just look in your local area. And I wasn't looking for many.
Yeah, it's not worth the trip.
Yeah,
At
exactly.
a certain-
Exactly right. Totally.
Seriously?
That's exactly the point. It's exactly the point. Why would you go anywhere else? You just look on your local Craigslist or whatever. So I was looking for something that I thought might be kind of fun, but it was just going to be a disposable.
Yes.
And,
disposable is if you're talking about a used mini, disposable is a good state to be in.
And also, winter car, it's going to get
Yeah.
beat on and salty. And,
Okay.
come on, it's Salt Lake. They put salt down when they breathe, okay?
Yeah.
So as a result, I ended up stumbling upon the fact there were quite a few, there was like 12 of them when I started shopping that were minis, first-gen minis, for about $5,000.
Is it an S?
It is.
It's
Cooper
an S.
And
Okay.
I thought, so I found this guy. First owner ran it to 180,000 miles, and he owned it the whole time. He had a pristine garage with a lift,
What?
kept it nice. Was like, okay, that one I'll take the risk
Tell
on.
me he kept his receipts and how thick was the stack.
Oh, it was like 4 inches.
Those
Plus he kept
listening to the show, Todd just basically held up. If it was as if he was measuring my penis. No,
Here, I'm
he
taking a
also
couple
had-
of phone books,
but he was a,
Todd. No.
but he was a total just mini fan. So he kept every brochure they sent him, and he had. I mean, it was just.
God.
I got rid of a bunch of stuff that was just like, don't need that.
did it
don't
take
need
you
that.
3 hours to get out of there when you picked it up?
Hey,
Backing away.
We were there
don't
a
have to-
long time.
We're friends.
You know.
We're friends.
But it
Backing
was-
away.
Did I tell you about Mini Takes the States 06?
Yeah, exactly. It was that kind of thing.
Right. And their ad campaign that year.
Yeah, I have a copy of it if you'd like it. Yeah, all that stuff was in there for sure.
Of course, I'm sure.
You know, if you were buying, you know, an L88 Corvette, you know, for $180,000 in Barrett Jackson, you'd be super stoked about all that
You're
shit.
right. No,
With
you're
a
right.
beater,
You're absolutely right.
You know, you want to just take it and light it on fire right in front of him. Did you inform this particular gentleman that this car's life was going to end with you? That all his care in the world meant fucking about $800 at the end of the day. The next person to buy this car was going to end it.
Yeah, well, I told him what it was going to be used for. I was like, look, I have a Lotus now. This is going to be my winter car. Okay, so you know that's
and
the reality.
And it's missing back seats too, so it's kind of like the trucklet too.
Yeah, I used
and
back
it's the
seat.
shoot car, which is great.
He actually took it and did the aftermarket rear seat delete. So it's
got no back seat.
I use like a pickup,
but it doesn't have the So when I had an R53, I took out the back seat.
Okay,
nice.
Which was genius because I had a tiny car with a ton of space and a monstrous trunk.
Yeah.
And it was unbelievable.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Unbelievable. Like an SUV worth
Yeah.
of trunk space in the back of this thing. And I never had to haul anybody around. But I left it bare metal and it just was loud and terrible. And eventually I got tired of it and put the seat back in and realized the level of refinement that a back seat provides. But if you get an official
sound
delete
deadening.
kit,
Yeah.
it probably knocks a bunch of that back.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
So $5,000.
Yep.
Tell me, and I assume, was it perfect for $5,000?
You know what? It was much better than it should be, to be honest with you.
Was it a stick?
He had just, well, he bought, the irony is, I had sold an FRS and bought a Lotus and then knew I needed a winter car. He had this Mini sitting in his garage for like 9 months because he'd bought an FRS and been driving that year round. And the Mini was now being...
You almost could have traded him straight up.
Practically. So anyway, but he had just, he had it up on a lift and he had taken apart and rebuilt the supercharger. So that was all rebuilt.
Oh, lovely.
And he'd done all the work himself.
Was it modded at all or was all
No, it's stock and in gorgeous shape. And I was like, I'm buying
It's
this
surprising,
car.
honestly.
Yeah, it really
you think
is.
180,000.
Is it like a rattle box when you hit potholes? That's what happened to mine.
I mean, I kind of expect it to be, so I don't really know what my frame of reference is. Plus, I'm coming out of a Lotus, which rattles constantly.
That's a good point.
It's all relative. It's all relative. It feels like my refined luxury car compared to the Lotus, so it's all relative.
Yeah.
You know.
And it has little wheels on it, right?
Yeah.
Is it like 15s?
I've got 16s and I think 15s and 16s. I think my winners are 15s. Yeah.
So it actually, that is going to make a huge difference. I was an idiot and I had 18s on my Mini and it was a disaster.
Yeah.
Don't ever do that.
Yeah, you can't go big wheels on that
the
car
smallest wheels you can get away with on a Mini is the way to go, for sure.
People have been asking you about the numbers on the meatballs. Have you decided? Are you going to go numbers?
I have to
does it
some
have
point, I guess.
meatballs on it?
Yeah, it has.
Go pull that picture back up, Tim. Does it actually have does he autocross it? Why does it have a meatball on
Something
it?
about it. And the funny thing about it was the fact that I thought, all right, I'm going to take those off until I realized that the paint protection film is covering a couple of them. So
shit!
Yeah, I'm just going to leave them all. I'm just going to leave them all now.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, fuck it. Put some more on. Polka dot, bro. There, go up. I was covered in snow.
there it is.
Oh,
On the
there
side,
are.
one on
I
the side. Yep.
completely. I think he had that picture up. It didn't even occur to me.
Yep.
Oh my
so
god!
on both doors, on the hood, on the roof, and on the tail.
Oh wow!
It's
really?
ripe for something.
There's a black
Did it
one
have
and a
numbers
white
on
one.
it at some point?
I don't know.
Oh Jesus! Some people.
So there they are.
Honestly,
It's just ripe for something.
Honestly.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see.
can we just like? Can I? Well, if I give you like $800 at the end of a couple winners from now, how much damage will you let me do to that car?
Hey, might get another winter beater. Let's have fun with it. I like it.
mean, seriously.
I like it. No, I hear you.
You know, do you want to go
That's awesome.
off-roading with it? You want
Let's
to put
just
some
try
long
something.
travels
So are
on
we
it and
figuring
do a
out
little
a film?
off-roading? All Cars Go to Heaven 3,
and I'll-
Everyday Driver
I'll-
Edition.
I'll chase
We'll come to
your.
you.
I
I'll
kinda
chase your
like this.
911 off
How's
road
Salt
somewhere.
Lake City for the shitbox scene? Can I get a great car for $1,000 in
Yes.
Salt
Yes,
Lake
you
City?
can.
Yes.
Let's do it in Utah.
Done.
Tim,
Bring
you
it.
want in?
I like it.
Bring it.
Absolutely. All right, the
100%.
movie's on.
It's not too far.
What is that smart car pickup monster truck?
Oh,
Is
we
that-
saw this at
That's
Classic Stadt in Frankfurt. We were having dinner and this thing pulled up and it was nice. As you can see, it is somebody spent time and money
Hang on, let's
building
clarify.
this thing.
Not
Well,
nice like we like it. Nice like they spent money making it refined and well built.
Nice by
Yeah.
the
Let's
interior of the
clarify.
bed was well done. Somebody spent a lot of time building
Well, you
this thing.
can't just drive it's in Germany, right?
Yeah.
You can't drive a shitbox in Germany. It's not allowed.
Fair
You
point.
have, if you're
That's
going to
true.
build
You're right.
something
That's
like
probably
that, you got to
why.
build
Yep.
it nice.
Yep.
TÜV
Going.
won't have any of that if you don't build it right.
So we were at Classic Stadt, which is that converted textile factory that's now all cars.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Klassikstadt.
Have you heard of Motor World in Stuttgart? Same
No.
idea. So Motor World in Stuttgart is an old World War II blimp hangar, now converted to be all these clear boxes where people park their cool cars. Klassikstadt is the same idea.
Yeah.
but in
Whoa, is
Frankfurt.
that it?
Yeah, check these out. So
Wait, is this a collector car storage facility or is this a museum or both?
both?
Kind of both of the above.
And some cars are for sale. There's dealerships there. There's a McLaren.
There's a Lamborghini dealer.
Lotus dealer.
Motor World is bigger than Klassikstadt, but Klassikstadt's
Yeah.
in Frankfurt.
And this is
It's like a display case. It's Candyland.
wow. And it's so we're looking at a giant warehouse with some glass and some steel, and there are plastic or glass boxes with cars in them. How
There you
about
go.
that?
Yeah, it's a converted World War II blimp hangar. It's crazy. It's
That
huge.
is incredibly baller.
Yeah, it is. It is nuts.
Yeah.
And so Klassikstadt in Frankfurt is similar.
Wow.
And that's where that.
There's
What do
a
they
bunch
charge
of
you?
these.
What do they charge you parking there?
Oh,
You know,
It's a great question. We've never
I'm not
asked.
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you can park and either stay at the hotel. You can go to the restaurant. You can just walk through. As
oh no,
it's
no,
a
I mean
museum,
to
but-
have
you
your
mean for
car
the
in a
car.
box.
But to store it?
Yeah, to have your car in a
Yeah.
box.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not
Dusty
sure.
ass F40. Is that in there?
Yeah.
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 There
Dust,
was,
they don't even. Did they leave it dusty?
Some people cover.
How
them. You
often
can
do
see
you
to
drive
the
your
left.
car? You know.
I don't know.
You can see to the left. Some people just put the dust cover on that and leave
Anyone
it.
know
but
what that is? I think that is.
That is an
a-
Alonso edition, $5.99. I think.
Is it?
Yeah, I could be wrong on
Think
that.
so? Really?
That could be
That's a.
$4.30.
That's the angle makes it very hard.
I want to say the Alonso with the red and silver, but I could be
Definitely
wrong
a
on
Ferrari.
that.
Could be a Scud or.
Maybe.
We're all staring at the
looking for
corner
348
of
in
a
the
photo
back.
taken on a cell phone.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Sorry. With reflections, it's
Yeah.
not good.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Were you guys just filming in Germany?
Well, we go every year now for our pilgrimage trip.
The pilgrimage. I
So
remember.
we did our
yes.
feature film
Yeah.
in 2015, and we've been taking people every year, every fall. So this will be our
Right.
third year to take people with us.
So did you just go? Or, every fall. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
every fall. Excuse me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Will they
Is
go
that
again?
the hotel at Motor World?
So each room
Yeah.
in
Pull
the
that up.
hotel
The V8,
has
the V8
themes.
hotel. Yeah.
Oh my
The V8
God.
hotel.
Is that what's called, V8 Hotel?
Yes. Believe
It's
it or not,
awesome.
that's what it is.
Like
Looking
in
at
the
a
Cadillac
Cadillac Eldorado bed. It's
Yeah.
classy.
Because that's what you always wanted.
It's a
Yeah.
real classy move.
Hey.
Who was just in here, Tim? Who was in here talking about that crazy hotel? We were just talking about another ridiculous hotel
Yeah, I
with
don't
themed
remember.
rooms that had a press launch at it. Was it
Where
Aaron
was it
Gold or
located?
something?
Really?
I don't know. It was like upstate New York, and he stayed
they-
in some.
and they did a
oh,
press
it's George Notaris. He stayed in a
Okay.
helicopter.
As you do.
That was ridiculous.
Interesting.
Germany, the pilgrimage. Yes. So that weird smart car thing was at the other.
Yeah. So somebody
Yeah.
pulled up for dinner, rocking the smart pickup truck.
Smart pickup, which
Smart
is
wagon.
weird. But yeah, there it is.
Lovely.
I'm not sure what to call that thing, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty cool. So
Smart wagon.
there you go.
Right?
Smart wagon.
You think that's 2-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive?
Oh, I'm sure it's 2.
Yeah.
We didn't mention for the audio people, it is a smart pickup truck 6-wheel.
Yes.
With 2 in the back, sort of like the
Yeah.
G-Wagon.
And the bed is as long as the entire cab. So the smart car
Doubles
is
the
twice
length.
its normal length,
Right.
which still isn't much.
Yeah, I think
Let's
the
be
turning
honest.
radius isn't that shit.
Yeah, I bet it's fantastic. Yeah.
I'm sure the fifth and sixth wheels just hold the back end of the car up.
Tell you what, though, bet that guy fucks.
I didn't even see if it was a guy or not, to be honest.
That is a guy.
You think so?
Women do not add axles.
that
like
that is
shirt.
words to live by right there. That
It's
is
like,
words to live by.
Women
That's a
don't add
motto.
axles to vehicles.
Yeah,
It's
that's
a
fair.
life motto.
That's fair. Yeah.
And I don't think,
that.
I mean, all the women tend to be very practical when it comes to customizing their shit.
That's fair.
You know, I mean, they may do some funky color choices, but like,
Except for those
wouldn't-
eyelashes.
Women don't tend to build stupid things
Fair.
from scratch. You know, it's like they would
scratch.
the woman's probably like, "Why did you?" Bless you. The woman's probably like, "Why would you do that?"
Yeah.
That
Probably.
guy's,
Yeah.
that guy's lady doesn't like that thing.
You're probably right.
If I had
Yeah,
to
I'm
guess.
sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Oh man, that's fucking good. What else have you been driving? What else is going on?
We're just starting to shoot for season 3. We've been kind of in hibernation a little bit
Yeah.
with the winter months. So this represents the first episode of season 3 for
On
us.
Velocity, yeah.
We're
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
up into the Honda Civic Type R.
Oh yes,
We're going to get in that car,
Yeah.
and a few others are going to be doing some shooting in Utah. We've got some classic cars to shoot that are going to be perfect for Velocity. What else?
Well, we've got Bolt versus Model 3. That's not shot yet, but that's on the
Yeah.
books.
Bolt
Yeah.
versus Model 3 is a good one.
Yeah.
I just saw
I'm
one.
a Bolt fan. What
Come
Model
over here.
3s? They're
Yeah.
around. There's a
they're
Tesla dealer right up the road.
Yeah, they're
all
just
over.
going to be common. I just feel like they're going to be common really quickly.
They will.
We'll
Model
see.
S's are very common here.
Yeah.
A Model
Here they
S
are, for
is
sure.
not a special car. If you
No.
go you go to Alabama, a Model S might as well be the fucking Ferrari here.
Yeah. You're absolutely right.
shit.
No, absolutely. And of course,
Exactly.
everybody has a personalized plate on their Tesla.
Yeah, the cheekiness of all of it is really, I mean, and
It's unending, is what it is. So tired of
fuck
it.
you, gas. Like, whatever.
Pretty much.
As close to, as close to fuck you, gas, and anyone who burns it.
Exactly.
That's what
Some
the
message
theme
along
of all
those lines. Yes,
Tesla
you're absolutely
license
right.
plates
You're
are.
absolutely right. Yes.
I'm better than you.
Unless you're carving your
In license
toothbrushes
plate
out of
form.
bamboo.
How can I do that in 7 letters? Yes.
What you do see here a lot that won't surprise you probably in the least is you see Teslas, which are very expensive, parked in front of houses where you're like, that guy's driving a Tesla.
Sure,
You
yeah.
see a lot
Yeah, yeah.
of that.
Well, it's the LA thing about I live in an apartment. I drive a $92,000
Yeah.
Mercedes
Yeah,
S-Class
yeah, yeah.
because, it's LA.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
What you're seeing in.
It's
This is important.
it is important. However, I could also make the argument that you, depending on what you do for a living, you could spend a lot of time in your car.
Yes. Almost as much as
Yeah.
your place. I agree
Yeah.
with you.
True.
Yeah, fair point.
You know,
Fair enough.
And not that necessarily that means you should have the flashiest, but like, look, if you have an hour and a half commute every day, 5 days a week, and then you
Yeah.
drive to
Sure.
wherever,
Yeah.
whatever, and 12,000 LA miles a year is a hard driving.
Totally.
So if you
yeah.
wanted to have a nice car for that, I am not going to be the guy who hates.
Completely.
I'm also never going to hate on someone for getting an automatic in this city.
Absolutely
for
not.
sure.
It makes a
Absolutely
whole
not.
lot of
No,
sense.
completely. Well, I mean, that's the whole thing. I joke with Paul, and we talk about it on the podcast. I have a Lotus Elise because I don't live in LA.
Yeah.
I love that car. I would hate it here.
Honestly,
You
it'd
would.
come out
It'd
on
be tough.
weekends, but maybe we just
tough.
spent an hour in traffic on a Sunday.
Yeah.
going over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a tough city.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
It's
for
a
sure.
tough city to you got to have you have your 2 cars,
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
You got your car, your Sunday morning car, and then the
How
rest
many
of
do you have now?
cars?
You've pared down.
1,
Haven't
2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
Yes, which is down from 7.
From like 7 or 8,
and,
yeah.
And my Lexus, I pretty much never see.
Okay.
Aaron Gold
It's
has
out and about.
Aaron Gold and his wife put like 1,000 miles a week on it.
Really?
Yeah, and I hear from them
Nice.
like every 2 months, like
Okay.
alternator broke again. Like I'm like, fix it, and they someone fixes it, and I send in a credit card. Not Aaron, like he has a guy.
I understand. Yeah. Yeah,
And
yeah.
someone he fixes it, and I give him my credit card number, and then I hear from them 2 months later. The
That's
alternator, it eats alternators like crazy.
Really?
Yeah, alternators last about 10 to 1,000 miles. I think I've been through
Seriously?
about 6 alternators. Yeah.
Well,
That's
Yeah.
a
good
good thing.
thing.
What is
Yeah.
going on?
I think what happens is the power steering
Mm-hmm.
pumps and the power steering systems, which are right above the alternators, have a
Okay.
tendency to leak.
Oh, there you go.
That'll kill your
There you
alternator.
go.
Yeah,
real
and it
quick.
leaks onto the alternator, which kills it.
Leak some
Totally
hydraulic
does.
fluid
Yeah.
down into
Yeah,
there.
and alternators
Yeah.
are cheap.
Yeah.
And power steering shit is
Systems are-
really
yes.
expensive.
yeah, but if you're
Yes.
6 alternators in
I'm
right
still
now,
ahead, bro.
Are you really? Yep. Clearly, he's figured
because
this out.
I'm also
Clearly he's done the math.
because I'm not only 6 alternators in, I'm 2 power steering pumps in, fucking too, bro.
Why am I surprised?
You know, some people
All
like to have women physically beat them with whips. I have a 970,000 mile car. It's the
We've all
same
got our thing, I
humiliating
guess.
effect.
That was my next question is what is the mileage right now?
972 something.
Okay, you're getting there.
So they're working on it.
All right.
We're gonna fucking get there.
I know you are.
I mean,
know
there's
that.
no question. We're getting
And
there.
then what happens? Viking burial? What are you going to do?
We're
Yeah, what's
thinking.
gonna-
We're thinking
How are you
Oman.
gonna celebrate?
Oman.
Really?
Yeah, that's what we're thinking.
Okay.
Is that
Interesting.
But as far as we can tell, 50% of all vehicles in Oman are mid-90s Lexuses, to the point where mine is not even particularly going to be high mileage over there. We're probably going to
Wow.
go drive it around the Middle East and then give it to a goat herder or some shit.
Wow.
I was gonna say, can you
I
make
like
money on it?
I like it.
No.
No. Well, you're,
Like all those alternators. Yes.
you're way
The
underwater at
marketing
this point,
value
though, anyway.
we've gotten out of it is far beyond
I'm sure,
the
yeah.
dollars. You know, we've gotten. I mean, it must be $100 or $200 in marketing value out of something that
Sure.
I probably spent $15,000 on in 3 years.
Sure. Yeah.
You know,
But then somebody will own the car, and they'll be
hopefully
even prouder
Hopefully.
about that. I
yeah,
guess.
yeah. Yeah. No, if someone has like
great.
honestly, if someone has a legitimately like I don't want to do like one of them letter writing contests or something, but like if someone's got a real legitimate pitch for something awesome to do with the car once it hits 1 million miles,
Then bring it.
I will
right?
consider an awesome pitch, and even to the point where I would just give the person the fucking car. I don't care.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. It's not.
Yeah,
it's
that's
worth.
cool.
It's worth everything or nothing, depending on.
Sure.
To me, it's
a good point.
get this off my fucking balance sheet as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Exactly.
In 25,000 measly more miles. Yeah.
Yeah,
Excellent.
yeah, but it's a thing to do, right?
There it is. It's a thing you started, and
it's
now
a
you're
thing.
asking yourself about it. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
That's
because
awesome.
I've heard over the years a bunch of people try shit like this. Remember Road and Track bought a Miata?
Oh, yeah.
With like $300K on it, and they're like, we're gonna get to 1 million. And I was like, I can't
No, you're
wait
not.
to
Yeah.
see how far
Yeah.
this gets. And just quietly just over the next there was 2 more articles about it, and then it
Yeah.
just vanished. But
Yeah.
no. Matt Farah commits.
Well, but you're close enough, for
I'm
sure. Yeah.
I'm the most fucking stubborn person. I'm gonna commit to the shit. It doesn't matter what I'll bankrupt myself to do this fucking thing. No, I won't.
know.
Gonna get
No, I
there.
won't. If the motor blows, the game is over
Okay.
because it's the original motor. It's never been opened.
Got it.
So that's
Okay.
the
That's
part of
crucial.
the game, right?
That's an interesting. That's an
if the
interesting
motor
twist.
blows, the game
Okay.
is over. And if the trans goes again, I probably I spent $3,800 rebuilding the transmission like a year and a half
Holy
ago.
cow.
So yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
we ship it back to Japan and
Fuck,
say,
I don't
thank
know.
you very much.
Yeah, whatever.
We're
but-
good.
Or we just like
You can
put
have
it.
your car
we get a
back now.
Super Duty press car and I tow it the last 20,000 miles. So there's
There you
laps.
go.
Whatever.
There you go.
Whatever.
Excellent.
I have to. I want to. We have actually a lot of questions.
Oh, cool.
Car questions, legit from people. They
Nice.
want to hear your opinions on things.
Cool, nice. cool,
And
great.
it's great when you guys come in because usually most of our comments are horseshit. They're like just jokey and they
Yeah,
are not
yeah.
actually. But like people actually
Okay.
have real advice questions for you. But
Okay.
first,
Yes.
have you gentlemen driven the current generation BMW M6?
Current gen.
No.
No, we have not.
This one right
not
here.
been-
I had the Grand Coupe for a week.
Okay.
Just
Yep.
want to let you. I want to just do get 3 to 4 minutes
Okay.
on this
Okay.
particular vehicle.
Great.
I got it. Actually, you guys are gonna laugh at this. I got a sponsorship deal with a big dealer group called
Okay.
Sonic Auto, and
Yeah,
they
I
have
think I heard
like,
this.
you
That's
know
cool.
them. They
Yeah.
got a lot of stores,
That's
a lot
cool.
of brands,
That's great.
national.
Interesting. Fantastic.
And so they sent me this car from BMW Beverly Hills, and it's kind of awesome. It's like a press car without having to go through the press, and
Especially when it comes to you, yeah.
right. So they gave me this car with 14 miles on the odometer.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, right. They just like
Brand
pulled it
new.
out of the back and washed it.
And then they'll sell it to somebody that will never know.
Oh no, I think it'll become a demo for a
You think
while.
so? Okay.
Yeah, I think
All
it goes
right.
into the demo fleet. I don't
Okay.
think.
All right,
they're
keep going.
No,
Keep going.
they're like ethical. They're not gonna do
Oh
that.
wow. I mean, you never know. I'm asking the question.
the road we're
it's
going
it's
down.
legitimate. It's not shady.
How much are these things?
That's a 120 grand, 122.
No kidding.
But so you get 560 horsepower, you get the dual clutch 7-speed. These are still rear wheel drive. So the M5
Right.
just went to the all wheel drive,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
switchable. This is
Yeah,
still
yeah.
rear.
We've driven the M5, just not the M6.
It's all right. So
What
the M6
is the difference?
The M6, not much. Honestly,
Okay.
not much.
Okay,
They
fair
drive
enough.
the same.
Fair enough.
They drive basically the same. The wheelbase is very slightly shorter in the 6, like
Interesting.
less than an
Okay.
inch.
Okay.
The roof
right.
is 3 inches lower. The width is exactly the same, and the overall M6 length is 3 inches longer. So longer width, longer length, slightly shorter wheelbase, and lower. It's almost like you just put a sandwich
Somebody
press
squished
on an
it.
M5,
Yeah.
Stretched
pretty
out a
much,
little
yeah.
bit.
But it's not any
Proportions.
wider.
Interesting.
And then the
Okay.
M5 runs a 275 front, 285 rear.
Okay.
The M6 runs one more each way, so it's 265, 295.
No kidding.
So the M6 has a bit more stagger.
Yeah.
They drive basically the same. I mean,
Okay,
unless you
okay.
were on a racetrack back to back with a stopwatch,
Yeah.
and really
you
getting
couldn't
after it.
really tell the
Yeah,
difference between
yeah.
how they drive. I personally prefer the M6, especially. I just saw the new M5, and it looks like invisible. Like
I agree.
Have you seen it in person?
I have, yeah.
It is invisible.
Recent auto shows, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a 540 or something. Like
I
it
agree.
just disappears.
Interesting.
Whereas the M6 looks gangster to me. Even like the 640 with the sport packs look
Yeah.
pretty dope.
They look cool. Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
This one didn't have any like crazy over the top options. It had the usual, heated, cooled seats, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So ceramic brakes. It's got 15.7 inch front brakes, 15.6 inch rear brakes. So it almost has squared up ceramic brake rotors.
Those bigger than your mini wheels?
Yeah, seriously.
Like
Rotors
the
bigger
wheel
than wheels.
and the tire
Absolutely.
included.
Practically, yeah.
They are. I liked it. I had a little electrical hiccup. There was some weird connectivity, not with the car, with my phone.
Oh, okay, sure.
Like, how if you're using like Waze, it like, quote, like makes a call to your car. You ever see that?
Yeah.
Some of the cars where it like, the car thinks you're on a call when it does your directions. So a couple times it like wouldn't hang up that call.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, like it was stuck on
The
the
electronics
call.
on the car freaking out.
Car continued the call and I couldn't hang it up, which I thought was a little strange.
Interesting.
But
Okay.
the car's really fucking fast.
That
I have no doubt.
rear
It's
three-quarter
really
looks nice,
fast.
I'll bet.
And BMW says it is limited to 163 miles an hour, and they are lying. It is not. I assure you, it's not limited.
No idea how we know that.
That
That's weird.
car will. I mean, if I were to guess that in a racetrack situation with a professional driver and a closed course,
Yes.
that car would easily do 182 miles an hour and still pull. Easily.
Wow.
Easily.
Good to know.
Wow. Very nice.
Easily.
How long do you have it for? How long do you have this car for?
I had it for a week.
Okay.
It was very delightful, and the new M5 interior is nice, and the engine sounds pretty good. But I was not excited by the styling, and I was excited by this. This
Isn't that
looks
amazing?
great.
Styling and design can go either way. It can push over the edge with the same mechanicals.
Yeah. And it's very nice to drive. It was it's very well balanced. I mean, for 120 grand, look, you don't get any excuses. The car better
You're right.
be awesome.
No, it better be great, for sure.
And it is. So shout out to Sonic Auto and BMW Beverly Hills. Thank you for the loan. Appreciates it.
Very cool.
Very cool. We have. All right, we can go to questions. Yes, we can. Let's go to questions.
Great.
Here's last time you guys were on the show.
Yes.
We discussed, I believe, vloggers and the state of YouTube. And this is a
yes.
conversation that has come up
This
again
is
and again
ongoing,
in comments.
actually.
Yeah, no, someone just wanted to know, has there been an update to the state of the industry since we last spoke? And I don't personally really think that there has been one. I think it's.
You mean as far as changes, has things gone in
Yeah,
things gone
what's
in a different direction?
what is the
or-
state of making shit on YouTube?
Quantity rules. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
And so it's swinging more and more toward vloggers. I mean, we were having this conversation with somebody last couple of days. I forget who it was, honestly. We were having this conversation. YouTube tries their original content thing, spends a bunch of money, and tries to be the alternative to television.
Yeah.
Since then, they have clearly embraced the fact that look at the fact that there is something now called YouTube TV, where you're getting your cable but through the YouTube interface.
Yeah.
YouTube has embraced the fact that what works for them is the vlogger world, where production value is not important, but frequency is.
Yes.
And the algorithms play to that. And so, look, I'll go away from us for a second. Petrolicious, who everybody agrees shoots great stuff.
Yes.
They've got a ton of subscribers. You look at their recent videos, they post like weekly. Look at their recent videos. They don't get a whole lot of views.
I saw a very sharp decline, around the last couple months of 17.
Was this the algorithm change?
I can't. I think blaming the algorithm isn't cop out. I think it's possible that people were fucking tired of my format. I think that's entirely true.
Fair enough.
I think there are
It's possible.
Yeah, and so it is what it is. So I can't blame the algorithm, but I can just say, just objectively looking at numbers, October, November, I went from averaging, 100 to 150,000 in the first 2 days to the point where I could guarantee it in an ad sale to going to 50 to 75.
Yeah.
It's a pretty sharp drop.
Yeah.
Well, and the stuff, we don't post that often on YouTube because we're essentially making produced stuff.
Yeah.
And, the stuff we dropped last year that was well produced is getting 2 to 3 times the views of the stuff we've dropped this year that's well produced. Now, we were gone, admittedly, for about a month over the changeover of the year, where we were just worried about getting stuff delivered for TV, and so we're back, posting YouTube stuff now. We post about every other week, but all of our numbers are down for sure. Now we're less worried about it because we're focused now on the podcast and the TV show, and then the TV stuff works its way to YouTube, and that becomes gravy.
Yes.
But it's clear that the YouTube, we've never been a great match for YouTube, but what we do is becoming less and less viable in the YouTube format.
It's interesting. Brand recognition is definitely, what YouTube is good for. But then what is it beyond that? Because you're
I think it's good for what it's always been good for, which is marketing something else.
I think that's true.
I think
I can see
my
that.
friend Larry Casilla with his ammo products,
right.
He does solid numbers on YouTube with his detailing videos.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think he hires an editor and he hires a cameraman and it's
cost.
a day and I don't think he makes any money from those, but he's soft selling his products.
Sure.
Which is so for that.
It's
that
great.
kind of stuff
It's
is
perfect.
great. And so if you can find a way to get your expenses back and then you're trying to market something else, which for you guys seems to be the TV, or the on-demand, the Vimeo.
Definitely, yeah.
Vimeo.com/everydaydriver, by the way.
Yeah.
And if you apparently pull up their menu, it's showing you the oldest videos first.
Yes,
So you have to
yes,
scroll all the way down to see the new content.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why that's the
Vimeo thing, interestingly.
But yeah, we've got our
I'll tell
feature
you what,
films
as
up
we
there
scroll
well.
down on your Vimeo, your polarizers have gotten better over the years. Your ability to vignette has really
Funny.
improved.
Yes. Yeah, the YouTube, the good Vimeo stuff
That's
is
funny.
the feature films. That's the latest stuff, and then of course we put the TV stuff on there.
Yeah,
as well.
here we go.
Yeah.
All the way at the bottom is season 2.
And Velocity.
Yep.
How are they treating you guys?
Pretty good. Pretty
You
good.
guys, you guys happy over there?
Yeah, we're on there as independent producers, so they're pushing all their big build shows that they produce themselves. That's the stuff they put a lot of marketing stuff
If
behind.
we don't finish this build by Thursday,
I know.
Yeah.
this
The world's
customer
gonna end.
is going to have to wait until Friday.
I know. It's terrible, isn't it?
You ever think
great.
about any build you've ever done and they go, listen, man, it's not done. And you go,
Okay.
Absolutely. Thanks.
Totally. Absolutely true.
But the guys who buy bikes, I guess, are psychos. the guys who buy bikes, if it's not done by Thursday, they show up and fuck you up.
Yeah, apparently they're coming with the whole crew. Yeah.
I just read Hell's Angels and wow.
Well, the funny thing is about parts, because then we talk to sponsors and they equate now Velocity with parts and build shows.
Yeah.
So when we say we're on Velocity, they say, "Can we send you some headers?"
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, it's not going to be
so
shown.
funny.
We're not installing
Yeah.
anything.
There
Don't
will be no
send
garage
us the
time.
product.
We're not
That
asking you
is
for
so
headers.
Yeah.
It's
funny.
very funny.
Maybe it's time you guys do a build.
Yeah, clearly we have to
Guess
build
so.
something.
I'm serious.
now, yeah.
Take advantage.
Yeah.
We could have parts like that.
Yeah,
honestly,
it's very
Hey,
funny.
man, let me tell you something. A car can be a production expense.
True.
that's true.
Absolutely true.
That's interesting.
Depending on your accountant's point of view, a project car can be a whole lot of things.
Yeah. No doubt.
Especially if someone's throwing free parts at you.
Yeah.
You could parlay.
Yeah,
You could easily parlay.
Yeah.
It's been interesting, but
Let's say that Lotus could use an LS, couldn't it?
Let's just try stuff. Yeah.
an LS and a Sawzall. Let's figure this out.
Yeah, just LS and everything.
Little backyard engineering. Well, you've talked about the LS in the FRS in the Toyota 86.
Yeah.
Did you ever go in one?
Which has been
No, I
interesting.
never have.
Oh,
I
has
think-
someone's built one, right?
Someone's built
there's
one.
been something been built. There's
Yeah.
I got the internet being a terrible black hole.
Oh, yeah,
I looked
Tim
it up
found
day,
one very
and there's-
quickly. Here
we
yeah,
go.
and there's there
Swap
are kits
kit.
there you can do.
There we go.
Yeah, right there. How much
Yeah.
is that kit?
What does it
Don't know.
say?
I love this company. I don't know anything about them besides the name of their company. It's called Weapons Grade Performance.
Yes.
And fucking ace marketing. Ace. What do you have in your car? Well, I've got a weapons grade air intake.
Yeah.
Weapons grade exhaust. Perfect.
There we go. Everything is.
If you combine weapons grade with army tricks, it's like, whoa.
Nice.
Okay,
3,200
$3,200.
allegedly everything you need.
$3,200 plus a motor, huh?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Allegedly, it's everything you need. I don't know.
Wait, what about a what do you mean with a motor? Fuck off.
No, it'd be
No.
plus. It'd be
Plus a motor.
It'd be plus
you get a
motor.
gearbox for that?
Sure should be.
You get a welder. That's what
see-
you get. A
You
welder
get a
and a
man-
sawzall.
No, it says engine and
Engine
trans
mount,
mount.
trans, yeah. Aluminum drive shaft, oil
you'd have
pan,
to
with
bring-
filter housing and
So it's
fittings,
bring
clutch
your
master
own
cylinder.
engine and gearbox.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still not bad.
Agreed.
I mean,
What is a used FRS going for, Todd?
Well, about $12,000. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean actually that car's is a reliable car, isn't it?
Yeah.
The
I
FRS?
had
Yeah.
one for a couple years. It was great.
No issues, right?
No, didn't have any.
Crate motor in this Toyota 86.
I think the move is a used one with with one of those Rotrexes on it.
Okay.
Is a good
Interesting.
move.
That
The
could be.
Rotrex blower, it's like 280 at the wheels.
Okay.
It's a good strong number.
Just as long as you can have a carbon fiber hood. That's really all
Oh,
we're
for
looking for
sure.
to get out of
And
this.
canards.
And canards.
Of course.
Because that makes all the difference.
And the ones on right underneath the mirrors, right in front of the mirrors, that's what those canards are the ones I'm really like.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
Wait. You mean like above the
you-
86 badge?
Well, in place of, that panel there that has the 86
Oh,
badge.
no.
You can get them
That.
there. You can get them right there.
Wait a minute.
It looks
Tim-
very wrong.
Tim, can
It
you
looks
Google
very,
a
very
picture
wrong.
of 86 badge canards? Because I just have to see that.
That piece comes
That's
off.
fucking
Just wanna
retarded.
verify.
That piece comes
I
off.
want to verify
and
that
they're-
someone
they're there
is dumb
instead.
enough to put that there.
They've got little wings on them. Yeah, it's
Oh,
insane.
no.
Let's see here.
You may want to, search for side canards or something. But yeah, it's up in this place.
Oh, fuck me. If you, we'll continue
Yeah,
if he finds
anyway.
that. Jesus. But that's the move, I think. You get about used one of those and get 280 at the tire, and you're good to go.
That'd be nice.
11,500 for the full kit plus motor, so 20 grand in your FRS.
So if you buy a used one, 32 G's, and you're talking about, potentially like a little 500 horsepower. Yep.
Yeah.
All day.
Little
Yeah, for sure.
embarrass everybody else.
You guys are pretty
car.
close to Colorado. Have you been in the Flying Miata V8 car
No,
yet?
we gotta get over
Oh
there.
my God! How you got to call those guys?
Yeah.
They're
We
not
do.
far from you.
We're
They're right
a
over the
day's
hill.
drive.
Yep.
Easy day's drive.
Dude, the V8 ND Miata is the shit.
I have no doubt.
It is
would love to drive that car.
extremely fire.
Yeah.
Extremely
Love to drive
fire.
that car,
You
for
can
sure.
drive that fucking thing around and shift it $3,000 and walk like 80% of cars.
Seriously?
Yeah. It's got,
all I
it's
wanna
got
do.
legs. It's got like, because a Miata has no legs.
Yeah.
A Miata.
Yeah,
This is like.
then you're still last.
This is that like, when you know how a Corvette's got legs? Every
Oh,
gear
sure.
is an
Yeah, yeah.
eternity.
Totally.
This is that in a Miata.
great. Yeah,
It's good. It's
That'd be
very,
great.
very
That'd be
good.
fun.
Yeah, we recently had a Z06 at Laguna Seca. So
Oh, that
GM
was
gave
probably
it-
delightful.
Oh,
How fun
yeah.
was that?
It was
Incredibly
cold
fun.
in the mornings, so the tires were bricks. And yeah, the back end stepped around.
And
It
the
was fun.
tires weren't new either. The tires were one journalist loan away from we got to replace them.
We only had
Exactly.
one guy in here, but it was Randy, and
Yeah, exactly. It was that kind of thing.
did you
But that was
have a
great.
loud day at Laguna for that? I didn't know the Z06
no,
could run
Todd
on a
got
quiet
caught
day
because he was
You got yoinked?
98.
Oh yeah.
But then
Yeah,
I
yeah.
figured you could shut the exhaust off after the day ended. I was going through menus on the car, and I
Oh,
figured
you
out
drove it in loud mode?
it
You
was
could drive it in quiet mode, and it should pass.
Yeah,
the
we
Laguna.
could have.
Theoretically, we were stepping our way through the sound sensors.
all you have to do is just lift off up the hill to turn 5 and 6,
Yeah.
and then you're on it again up to
Yeah.
the corkscrew, and
Yeah.
you're fine. So whatever.
I did a test day with a car there, and I don't want to say who it was. It doesn't matter. But they were like, listen, the sound meters, blah, blah, blah. So you got to lift at 5 and, and go.
Yeah.
You got to be a gear higher or whatever. And then they were comparing our laps to their pro, who was like, fuck all, banging the rev limiter at turn 5. Like, no lift. Like,
yeah, come on.
And they're like,
Come
well,
on.
the pro was 1.4 seconds. I was like, he's at 6,800 RPM at 5. Like, we had to be at 4. Like,
Seriously, yeah, that totally
the
changes
difference.
things.
cold
completely.
as ice. It makes a big difference in speed up that hill.
Absolutely,
But
it does.
a
Yeah.
Z06 will go right through that sound barrier.
Yeah,
Loud.
yeah, you
Of course
kind of
it will.
punched right through
Yeah,
that.
I did for sure.
Yeah, Laguna Seca. If you ever want to have a fun day on Google Images, Laguna Seca exhaust mod.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, those pipes. It's a straight pipe.
John
towards the
Philip
infield.
Sousa has a side career.
Seriously, you're
great.
absolutely right.
Yeah, it's like a marching
great.
band.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
build the craziest shit.
There was a
Go to
ZL1
Home
out there
Depot.
that day with us, and they had running all the way down his bumper. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
there you go. Of course you're passing me.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
so
'cause he was
funny.
hot on it.
But how lovely was that to drive on that course?
It was
right?
awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Great.
the only downside was that.
There you go.
Oh, that's perfect. I love
Yeah,
it.
that's how you get a GT2 to pass at Laguna Seca. You basically have the
Yeah.
center exhaust exit and then an extra set of
love
like
it.
motorcycle mufflers.
That's how you do
Or
it.
like
That's
those are like
exactly what it looks
Shelby Cobra side pipes, like
They
stuck
look
this
like
is
it, you're
normal at Laguna. Everybody's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. This is
Yeah.
normal.
Yeah,
I love it.
think it affects that airflow negatively around that wing.
No.
No, we had a blast, but it was our first time on Laguna, so that was a lot to bite off.
Yeah,
for sure.
Corkscrew is not actually the scariest corner, right?
Agreed.
It's actually 9.
I think
after
it's
that.
9. I totally agree.
Yeah.
9 is
Yeah.
really fascinating.
The corkscrew in person is much easier than video games.
I agree with that.
Oh, there you
Your
go.
depth perception, I think, is
Yeah.
much better in person there.
Well, and you can feel all the movement of the cars. You know what
You
you're
weren't
doing.
kidding. Are those super traps?
Yeah. Super traffic love. Dude, these
taking it back.
guys at Laguna, we're looking at these wonky ass homebrew.
Yeah.
That one looks like a toilet plunger.
Seriously.
Might be, actually.
You just walk down the aisle at Home Depot and went, I'll put that on the back.
It's amazing. These guys, he spent $300,000 on that car. And he's like
No
gluing
kidding.
shit on the.
Well, when I
It's
bought
very
my
funny.
Lotus, he gave me a downturn
Oh, did he?
because he'd been on Laguna and other
That's-
places. And here's
Your
your downturn
Lotus
pipe.
has
And I
an
was like,
issue with that?
I have no idea if it does, but he handed it to me. He's like, here's your
four-cylinder?
downturn. I was like, really? But it has an aftermarket exhaust
Or
on
you,
it.
that
So-
happens to you. You fry your license tag.
Oh wow, that guy melted his own bumper because he pointed that shit in the wrong way. He didn't. He didn't
Yeah.
go with the backdraft, right? he had a little vortex issue
Yeah,
down
exactly.
there.
Exactly right. Just cooked
great.
everything.
His own shit.
Cooked the whole back bumper.
That's
Bro, but how are
awesome.
my times, bro?
But yeah, give me the time. Excellent.
That is so funny.
Yeah, we got to make it over to Flying Miata. That's a great
You
idea.
absolutely
I
need
would
to,
love to.
because that's your kind of David and Goliath thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be great.
You show up there with, it's like, I think Flying Miata built like out the door turnkey is like $85,000.
Okay.
So you show up there with a Z06, and that's your comparison.
Are they
really.
close to any tracks? I don't know where they're located
They're in
Denver?
no. What's the other one?
Boulder.
No, Grand Rapids. Is that
Grand
Colorado?
Junction.
Grand Junction.
Grand Junction.
Yeah.
They're in Grand Junction.
Oh, and that's actually really close.
yeah,
that's a
because
weird
they're like
one. A
the
lot
only
closer.
thing in Grand Junction.
So now
Yeah,
we
yeah.
need to get them to
What's near
get
there?
out to
Pikes
the track.
Peak
They should-
International
they should-
Raceway.
well,
they should come to you.
They
Yeah,
should. They should
out to
come
the
out
track,
to UMC. Yeah.
Yeah, they should come to
That'd
you.
be
And
the
they
best
probably
track
would.
close to them.
Keith, I'll introduce you. Keith's the man.
Cool.
Yeah,
We'd
they're
love
great.
that. That'd be great.
That'd be great.
You guys want to answer some consumer? I guess we covered what the YouTube landscape looks like right now. These guys are are getting their money elsewhere, and I retired. So
What does that tell you?
Exactly.
What does that tell you?
All right, now we're talking. Now it's car shopping questions.
Okay.
Would you buy a clean 987 Cayman S or a 997 911 S? They seem to be near equal in dollar amounts. What do you guys think?
Oh, it comes down to dynamics. It honestly does. I mean, okay, yeah, you're spending money, but comes down to the mid versus rear. I want a 911 in my life. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I do. I've
But
had
I'd go
two
Cayman.
Caymans, and I've currently got the Cayman GTS, which I love. But in this sense, that Cayman, the 987, is pretty raw, and I'd go Cayman to start with, honestly.
I think if it's your first Porsche, you should probably go Cayman.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I mean, like I
Especially-
said, I want a 911 at some point.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
I'm gonna get another one too.
Are you?
Yep.
What are you thinking?
I'm not gonna say.
Okay. So wait. So you're
I
gonna,
don't want what comes with that.
Fair, yeah.
Fair.
I'll tell you when.
But you're still going to do
I'd like
the off-road build of your current one?
that's in progress.
That's what I
It's
thought.
going
So
Yeah,
you're going
that's
to get
currently
one that
underway.
you aren't doing that with.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I cap.
because I do want a good road.
Sure, yeah.
a fast 911.
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Cool. Excellent.
But I would go with your assessment of the 987 Cayman S. I would go with that.
Yeah, I'm thinking 987.
Yeah.
I love that car. I still miss it.
They're great.
They really
They're
are.
very good. Let's see. How does the Volvo 240 compare with the BMW E30?
Oh.
It's actually kind of an interesting comparison.
That is interesting.
Is it a comparison?
Yeah,
Are
if
we
you
sure
if you
about this?
exclude the M3, I mean, if you're talking about
Yeah, I
the
see what you're talking
318,
about. I
maybe
see what
I
you're
don't
talking
know.
about. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Durability, sort of old school honesty.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm
Cars
trying to
designed
being
designed with
nice.
boxes. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like you could be an enthusiast and have a Volvo 240. Like
Oh, yeah.
you can
Yeah,
put
there's some
V8s
hot
in
Volvos.
them.
Oh, yeah,
you can
yeah,
put
yeah.
turbos on them.
Totally agree.
Oh, who's that guy down in San Diego that I know? There's
There's
a guy with like a crazy. It's like Crazy Moose Racing or some shit like that.
Really?
I can't. I'm blanking on it. But there's
Okay.
a guy
there's
who puts
some
big
cool
turbos
builds
on them. Yeah,
There's cool builds out there, especially
Yeah.
the older wagons.
Rally cars on the right.
Oh.
Tim, number 21. That's what I want to see. Yep, Volvo 242 Turbo Touring.
There we
that
go.
right
Yeah.
there is what you see. That is why that raced against an E30. That's why. Why you would. You might want something like that. So that's fucking cool.
I mean, yeah, that would be E30, but you remember the British Touring Car Championships.
Yeah.
The Volvos were were getting their wheels in the
Volvos
air.
in the air.
You remember
and
that?
And then
850s.
Walkinshaw ran the wagons.
Tom
Everyone
Walkinshaw, yep.
loves those. I went to a Volvo.
That's
Look
cool.
at that. I went to a Volvo press launch in Sweden, and we went to this guy's crazy Volvo touring car collection where he had a 242 turbo and 2 Walkinshaw wagons.
You're kidding me.
Now, my question on this
Interesting.
question is, what's got the better aftermarket support for you?
BMW.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, by far.
Exactly.
Certainly.
So I think that kind of swings things right there. I think
You
the
only need
240
one
is interesting.
shop. You only need one shop.
Yeah,
One
but it's
shop
got to be
that's
near you.
Yeah,
It's got to be near
yeah.
you. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, I think what these are cool for really is engine swaps.
Oh yeah, I see
know,
that for sure.
there's-
Builds, engine swaps.
Yeah. Look at that. I
or-
think this one is that what is that? It's from Speed Hunters, Tim. That is
Yep.
like an M5 engine or a Viper engine or something.
That'd be crazy.
It is. If you can I'm sorry, I just burped in the mic. That was gross. What did it say? Turbo something? 740 horsepower Volvo.
Here's
Yeah.
my question. Do you have
That's
to
what the world
commit to
needs.
Volvo? If you go the Volvo route, do you have to really commit?
Yeah.
Versus the BMW, you can, well, I've had enough of that. I'm going to go try something else.
No, if
If
you
you're
buy a
in
Volvo,
Volvo
you got to
land,
fill your closet
I
with
mean, do you have to
flannel.
like,
and
Dedicated myself to this.
stop shaving various parts of your body.
Wow.
If you're a woman, and no. Every Volvo person I've met has been a character though. I've met some. What is that? Is that a 2J? That's a 2JZ.
holy cow.
Yes, look at that install too.
That's gorgeous,
Yeah, so
yeah.
here we've got
Really
a Volvo 240 with a 2J swap that
Plenty
looks
of space.
fire as fuck. That
actually
is
looks
a
good.
beautiful car.
It is.
Whoever
It is.
built that thing, god damn, 2J swapped.
That's nuts.
Funny, the boxy car is actually looking good to my eye now. Years
know what?
later,
That's
it's
what I'm
They're
saying.
aging
looking
really,
good.
really well.
Right?
Yeah, they're
and
aging
now
really
when
well.
you think, wow,
just
240
clean.
versus E30, oh shit, that 240 looks
That
pretty
looks
hot.
good.
It looks great. Go with the 240.
Yeah.
I think if a car says something about you, I would rather be seen in a 240 with a motor swap. Fuck me, that thing is dope.
This one looks great. I
This
have to
one
admit, yeah.
is on Speed Hunters. Search 2JZ swapped Volvo 240 because it looks gangster as fuck. Okay,
cool.
cross that one off. Look, I'm organized. I have
Look at
paper
you.
now.
Well done. Hey, I like it.
Let's see. Sorry, same thing. R33 Skylines have just become legal. The early, they're they trickle. It's
early.
by build date, so it's
Yeah,
all a
totally.
trickle every
Yeah,
day.
yeah,
Every day, new Skylines are
There you go.
legal. What do you guys think about the R33?
You're the one that's owned one.
I had a 32.
I know. You have
You have
a
32. Have
We
you
have
driven a
had-
33?
Yeah.
I did, yes, once. It's
Was it a one take or was it?
no, it was not on camera. It
was not.
before I was doing that. It was like an off-camera thing.
I mean,
That's
interesting.
a very pretty one there.
Interesting, except that I haven't driven one, so I don't feel like I can really speak to it.
They are cool, as all Skylines are. To me, they're the least interesting of the three.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Why is
So
that?
is this
Why is that?
the,
The 34 is the best driving and best looking.
Sure, I agree with
And
that.
the 32 is the lightest and the original. And this is the middle child.
Is this
Okay,
the 996 of 911s?
No, I wouldn't go that far.
Okay.
I wouldn't go that far.
Easy.
Wow. All right.
I wouldn't go that far, but it's definitely, to me, it's not the best one.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean they're not cool. If if you look at that car, or anyone looks at that car and goes, yes, that is cool, then you probably won't be disappointed with it. It didn't drive
Yeah.
badly. It drove like a Skyline. Like
Yeah.
they all drive very similar.
Yeah.
You
That would make
Yeah, I was
sense.
gonna say.
Yeah. It's
I mean,
cool.
I
It's
think-
got the RB.
I do feel look wise, it's my least favorite of the three, but
Yeah.
but that's just
The right color and wheels, it can look really good. Actually, as pretty as that one that Tim, scroll down, Tim. As pretty as that one is, I think the other colors do it more justice than that color. But 34s are where it's at. Fucking fire. 34s are super
you're gonna try
fire.
to get one when those are legal.
Yes.
Okay.
Probably
Part of the plan.
before
Like it.
they're legal and do something shady because I don't
Perfect.
want to pay that legal tax. You know what I mean? Like
Okay.
I'll pay taxes, but I don't want to.
Understand.
I don't want to
Understand.
pay the shit just became legal in America. Let's hike the prices tax.
Sure. Right.
No,
Which
I
has
get that.
happened with
Yeah.
every other car.
Of course it has.
ever.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh my God! Launch it Deltas. Deltas were like the 8-valve Integrales,
Yeah.
like the not great Integrales. They were like 20 grand, 22 grand, 24 grand.
Yeah.
They're like $50,000 cars now for like an average
Yeah.
kind of whatever Delta Integrale.
Let's just mark it up. Why
Yeah.
not? Yeah.
The 16 valves are
Yeah,
hot. If
there
you ever
they
had to
are.
go in a 16
Yeah, here
valve,
we
I
go.
drove one like that, like a 16 valve car, an Evo 1, and it was awesome.
Really?
Yes.
That'd be great.
It was awesome.
Boxy. You know, I've seen these go up
Boxy.
in price.
Yeah.
Canepa. Bruce Canepa
Well, you're
has
welcome.
them on his site.
Of course, Canepa is like, he's we can call him like the repositioner.
No kidding.
It's when cars
Because when
go
he gets
from,
a hold of something, then it's like, okay, we're done.
Yeah,
I
he
can't
starts
afford
presenting it as if it is the most spec. He's one of those like market mover people. You
Sure,
know,
you're right.
it. I can
Absolutely.
see that.
it's like he parks it next to a 962, and you go,
That must be the new
"This
thing.
is these are the
though.
same."
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see.
great.
Wow, so many people asking about Boxsters. First gen Boxster or last gen MR? Ew. First gen Boxster. Well, last MR2 Spider versus Boxster.
Yeah.
Can you say neither? I mean, versus like a shitty 2.7 Boxster, like that will blow
Like
up.
the very
like,
early first gens with the low
Yeah.
motor.
You
That's
could-
hard.
no.
Yeah.
the sad engine,
Yeah.
Porsche's saddest engine since
Yes.
the fucking 914. I don't know. I'd get a 91 to 93 MR2, an MR2 turbo, like a real MR2. What is that? Get rid of that, Tim. What the fuck is that?
I gotta
Ugly as
pull it up now.
I mean, the thing
Oh
about the
my
MR2
gosh.
Spider is it's you're going to be the only one rocking that car. That's the thing about
Yeah.
it. And they're kind of cool because they're oddball, but the interior of those
not
is
good.
awful.
And there's like no trunk,
awful.
right?
There is no
there's no
storage
trunk.
space.
You're
There's no
cool
storage space.
because
It's got
you're
like
odd.
it's got like a space I think behind the seats.
Yeah.
It's got a fold down pocket or something, and it's
Yeah.
like we can take a grocery bag. Yay!
The Boxster, for what it is, it's actually got a
Is actually
decent sized front trunk.
somewhat usable. I
Even
agree.
though the 97 is a flaming hunk of shit, it's still got a trunk. This is a blah car with no trunk. I drove a 2ZZ swapped MR2 with the Elise motor in it.
okay,
Really?
Yeah, real cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Oh,
real,
front is nuts.
It was
Got
great.
after it.
It was
Love it.
great.
Yeah.
It was like
Nice.
a softer Elise,
sure, yeah,
basically.
yeah.
Pretty much.
Let's see. Is doing something like Motor Trend on Demand an option for us, an everyday driver? It's not really an option for us, the Smoking Tire, because we're not on Motor Trend. And you guys have your own sort of on-demand kind of
You
thing.
know, we've been talking about this. We're going really towards the television model, but the television thinking. And by that I mean Amazon, I mean Vimeo, I mean, continuing on Velocity for a while.
Is your Velocity content available like on like my Apple TV somehow?
It's on Vimeo right
Not
now.
on Apple TV.
It's on
It's on
Vimeo.
Vimeo. It'll wind up on Amazon on demand
Okay.
as well.
Yeah.
All right. It's free on Vimeo? Or no?
No, it's
Okay.
on demand. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Cool. Blah, blah, blah. Let's see.
Crossing
Okay.
things off.
Yeah, well, some of these questions suck. 2012 Ferrari FF. Interesting.
Okay.
Or brand new 911 Carrera GTS or Carrera 4S.
Ooh.
If you can handle the maintenance on the Ferrari, I'd say the Ferrari.
See, I don't think the maintenance would be that bad.
Okay.
2012 is 6 years ago, so
yeah.
with the warranty will have just maybe not even gone out yet.
Fair,
you might
fair,
be able to
yeah.
get an extended warranty on that. If you can, you should. No, for real. You
As
can.
you do
No,
with
you
a
can.
Ferrari.
Extended warranty in a Ferrari. If you're going to drive it, is probably a good idea.
I agree with that.
But
Yeah,
can
for
you
sure.
drive it? What's the
Yes.
reliability going to be like on
Fine.
this car?
Ferrari makes reliable cars now.
Yeah,
They kinda
I'd
have
agree
to.
to that.
They do.
They kinda have
to.
I
I'd
mean,
agree to that.
The big
Especially
ticket,
the FF.
The V12 has been a developmental engine. It's not a revolutionary engine
Yes.
at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, I'll take
2012
that.
FF. The one thing you might look into is the 4-wheel drive system. Is that because it's got that weird?
It's very complex.
It's
on
got
that
a
car.
shaft that goes, I think, through the engine.
I think it's through the oil pan.
Through the oil pan,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, you may want to look into what that
You may
that
want to
kind of
look into
maintenance is.
that.
No, but
What is the
just take a
maintenance on
glance
that?
at
I
that
just
idea.
don't know what the high
No, I
mileage
hear you.
maintenance
I
is
hear
on
you. Yeah.
that. But like,
Yeah.
dude, we had all the modern Ferraris that I've been around with miles on them have been fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like fine, like normal cars or better than normal cars.
Yeah.
As they should, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go beat on that Porsche, no problem.
The engines are really stout and the gearboxes are really stout. And with the dual clutch, in control, like the clutches don't go. It's not like those F1 pumps back in the day.
Yeah,
they
yeah,
don't
yeah.
run on that crazy hydraulic fluid anymore. It's all like internal. And so like
I think it's
there's
the,
not a lot of reliability issues with
I
those
think it's
cars.
the far more interesting choice for sure.
Plus, you get the
For sure.
other display,
And
on
like-
the passenger side. So
Yeah, exactly.
Carrera
That's
scare your
GTS
family.
Seats are not very comfortable though.
in the FF?
Yeah.
No?
That's what I've heard. They're quite stiff.
Oh. Well, sit it. You got to definitely sit in one.
Right.
For consumer advice, check for yourself. But the new Carrera GTS, I've driven it, is very dope as well. But it's at its top of its depreciation curve, but being brand new, whereas
Certainly.
an FF is middle to low depreciation curve. Like, is an FF ever going to be less than $100,000? Probably not.
Well, but also, is that car ever going to be one of those that suddenly spikes back? No, it's just going to.
Doubtful.
It is what it is.
Yeah,
Doubtful,
true.
but it'll hover around 100 to
will.
130, 40 forever, right?
Yeah, probably.
What's a 612? Is a 612 under $100,000? Probably not, right?
612s
I
were
think
the
I've
ugly
seen
ones.
them
I
for
think so.
95.
Have you seen one for
I
95?
think so. I want to say I have, but I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But
Not
I have my
many
favorite
under $100,000.
sites.
Not much under $100,000.
I have my favorite websites to go to for trolling and looking, and I've actually, in a strange way, kind of dug it. I kind of liked it, but maybe
you
it's
really?
because I knew the designer more than I
would say that
liked
would be
the
the
car.
reason.
But anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah, the 612 is heavily color dependent. Heavily.
yeah,
There are some
Yeah, it
colors
is.
that are pretty cool on that car, and there are some contrasting scallop designs that are horrific.
Yeah.
Black is good. All black.
Scallietti.
All black is good. I would say if you've got it, get the Ferrari.
Yeah, I think so too.
But you're not going to go wrong with either of them cars. 4C versus Exige. Exige.
Exige.
Exige. Yep.
Yeah.
That's a one-word answer. Jesus, why is everyone asking about Porsches? People.
They know I was going to be here.
Yeah, seriously.
That's probably why.
E30 BMW versus Mercedes 190E. It's got to be E30 on that, huh?
I think so too. I mean, the 190 is fascinating.
Uh-oh.
It's-
Look at
it's
Paul.
the-
I might dissent.
You let
Really?
go. All right, let's hear your arguments
Okay,
for
all right.
190.
I might.
Just to be the oddball choice. I mean, because
Yeah.
that'd be the only reason I can think of.
not necessarily.
190
Not
is
for
not
the
an
sake of the-
oddball. Unless it's a Cosworth. It's not an oddball.
If it were
that's what I think of it,
Cosworth,
yeah.
though, is that what we're talking, or we're just talking a
This
straight?
doesn't say. This says E30 versus 190 with no specificity.
Okay.
Then it'd be hard. If it were the Cosworth, I'll make a case. But just regular.
Why? Just because dogleg gearbox?
Well, that and the look of it, and the winning racing history, and
Yeah.
all of that stuff. Yeah.
Sorry, I was distracted by the champagne 612 right there. Look at that.
That's what you don't
Prius
want.
color.
See this Marshall Goldman? That's one of my sites right there.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's one of my secret. That's
Well,
where I
it's
go
not
shopping.
a secret anymore.
Not secret.
Yeah, I know.
Put that up on the screen.
There it is. There it is. That's one of my sites. I
That
like
that
going
right there is Prius Gold.
That's awful.
Yeah.
Awful. What's the worst color? I'll take that one.
That's pretty bad. Yeah, that's pretty bad. E30 versus 190. The oddball is your argument. That's it. That's all you
No,
got?
I'm not going
What's-
there for
what
the
else?
sake of polarity. I'm just saying, like I said, if it were the Cosworth engine on that, but
I don't think we're talking about Cosworth. I think we're talking about a
Right there in the
325
middle.
versus a standard issue 190.
I'll stick with the E30.
I'll go with
I
the
think so,
E30.
too. Yeah. Yeah.
E30s are really nice to drive. Most of them. Are
Just in
really-
general, they're
the
just really-
six-cylinder
they
ones are
just
nice
work.
to
Yeah.
drive. Yeah. 190s they're all right. They were well made for what they were, but I would not really call them nice to drive.
Dang, I like that F40 wing on the back of those things.
Oh, on the Evo? Yeah.
Oh man.
Dang it.
I was at Barrett Jackson, saw one of them sell. I think it was a fake. It was
I'll take it.
it was
Bring
30.
it.
I think it went for 32 grand. If it
Still.
was if it was real, it would have gone for more, but I think
Oh
it was
yeah,
fake.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
you can drive it. No
God,
worries.
don't you wish you bought a Hammer when you could have bought a Hammer?
Yeah.
For that?
Yeah.
When I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if they were
That
ever
was the
nothing,
biz.
but I think they were probably down in the
Comparatively, though.
30 or 40
Yeah.
grand
Yeah.
range, right? Aye. Fuck. There's a couple of guys at the Cars and Coffees around here that have the bad motherfucker hammers. There's
Really?
one guy who's got a 190 hammer or a whatever that one was, yeah. And then another one's got the 560 SEC one, the
Oh,
big pillarless,
Yeah.
with
Oh,
the
that's
6
neat.
liter.
You don't see those. I mean, we're in LA,
That
so
one
you do,
you
but
never see. That's the CE hammer, and that's the CE 3.4 liter from Dubai. That was a stroked out 300.
Seriously?
Then they stroked, yeah, super rare. There's one for sale in Dubai. They made like 25 of them.
Wow.
But the
there
yeah,
we
look
go.
at that.
There we go.
Yeah, those are very, very nice.
So mean.
That was all the questions. Oh, BMW M2 versus Shelby GT 350.
This is the question.
That's interesting.
There have been many articles written about this, as a matter of fact, and as you would suspect, the GT350 is the more power, faster, better, all that stuff. But I'm going M2.
M2, Medusa, Todd.
No,
Definitely.
I don't know. I think the GT350 may be my play there.
GT350 has the
It's
like
the business.
once every 20 years engine.
Agreed. That is a total moment in time car.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
the M2 is like other things, but the GT350 isn't.
The M2 is good, but it is
Absolutely
good
it
in a
is.
way that other things are also good.
The GT350 is
Not,
just crazy
not
oddball.
uniquely good.
Yeah.
That's a good. God, it's almost like this is your job.
It's weird, isn't it?
I'm gonna tie break with Todd on this one with
Are you?
GT350. I love the M2. Big fan, especially the Dynan M2, which adds like
Ooh.
a lot of horsepower and torque and better
That could work.
suspension geometry. Not better geometry. Softer suspension.
Oh, okay.
Which
All right.
results in a better ride and also faster lap times.
All of the above. That's good.
The reason is because of size, and this is where I will go smaller.
You prefer the smaller car?
I do.
Understandable.
In this
Okay.
instance.
Okay.
The Mustang, we love the Mustang. They're great. Blah. We've driven the GT350. Choose it. Yes. And the power overcomes the size.
Well, the magic of forget the power. The magic of that engine.
it's very
the magic of the
theatrical.
Because there are
car.
more powerful cars that are not as special as
Sure.
that.
Agreed. Totally
Yeah.
agreed.
But for that matchup, I want smaller.
Smaller is nice. I agree.
do.
In daily use, smaller is certainly
For
nice.
sure.
Yeah.
And if you're not in the life space to actually rev that engine to $8,000 with a regular basis, then it does lose some of its goodness.
True.
Yeah.
True.
It
Yeah.
depends on the usage, I'd say.
You got to wind that bitch out
It's
Daily.
awesome.
daily,
It's really awesome.
regularly.
Yes, that
.com.
fits the purpose. Yeah.
for sure.
Somebody reserve
Yeah.
that URL right now.
WindThatBitchOutDaily.com.
Exactly right.
The Shelby GT350 owners fan club.
That's a
There you go.
really,
Perfect.
really long URL. Somebody's going to take it. I'm telling you.
What if it's windthatbitchout.daily?
There you go.
You can really
Even better.
Wind.thatbitchoutdaily.
There you go.
Can
Wow.
you do that?
I don't know.
How much can you put after the dot these
I don't know.
days? I don't know.
There's a lot.
I
There's all
keep
kinds
seeing
of
all
choices.
kinds of new. It's like, well, that's a thing now. Yeah.
yeah.
There's
lot.
AG. There's all the country codes, of course.
Well, you can make up your own after the dot.
Yeah. You can.
Yeah,
now.
you can use your last name. You can use whatever you want.
that Grid Life festival that I work with is www.grid.life, which works.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
What's coming up next for you, boys?
Well, we said the Honda Civic Type R and
Yes.
the Focus RS.
Yes.
That is forthcoming.
You've done the RS, haven't you?
Yes, we have. We did the RS versus
Yes.
kind of everybody when it first came out, and now
Oh,
we're
yeah.
gonna put
RS
that
versus the world.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now we're going to do the RS versus the
Somebody
Type R.
owns those two
Fucking
cars.
nerds.
It's a couple. They own those cars.
Yeah.
And park them in
He's got a
Seattle.
picture
The
of a
Back to the
DeLorean
Future starter pack.
and then he's got the Toyota 4x with the KC lights.
Yeah.
I went to Jay Leno's garage yesterday.
Oh,
Humble
cool.
brag. For his show, he's doing like a segment that's like a game show bit. It's like
Oh,
an
yeah?
automotive trivia game show bit.
Interesting.
And boy, did he done fucked up, because he threw me multiple Back to the Future questions. He was like, it was multiple choice, and he's all like, at the end of Back to the Future, and if they put a camera on me, you can see me like roll my eyes. I'm like, oh boy. At the end of Back to the Future, what type of vehicle is in the garage when Marty opens it? And it was like, supposed to be
please.
like, he said in the garage, I go, Toyota 4x4. And he's like, I got to read the answer. No, Tony, don't bother. Toyota 4x4. But Jay continues to impress. He's got a fucking giant garage. It's an airport hangar. It's got 100
for sure.
whatever cars and 100 whatever bikes. He can walk up to any car in there, be like, you want me to start it? And you go, yeah. And it will be started within 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, not only does are those cars always ready to go, but there's the steam levers and like
He knows how to operate them.
pulleys
Yeah.
and like all this crazy shit, and he can just be
Insane.
like dun 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 dun, and it just starts. Like, he started up a fire engine from 1899, 1901 or something like that. It was a 20-liter 4-cylinder. 20 liter.
Oh,
That's insane.
Every cylinder was a Chevy 350.
when you put it like that. Holy
He
cow.
showed you had a spare crankshaft. It was like the biggest. I was like, "What is that out of?" He's like, "Oh, you want me to start it?"
Totally.
And then we go in this other room, and he's got one of those Chrysler turbine cars.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the only owner of this. I bought it from Chrysler, one owner vehicle. And I was like, "Fuck, Jay." And he goes, "You want me to start it?" I go, "This doesn't start." He goes, "Oh yeah, I drive it all the time." And I go,
I think he has the only running example, doesn't he?
when I tell you this car starts up instantly, like and it's just on. Like,
Wow.
You're
he hits a button
kidding
and then
me.
it's just and like, put your hand on it, and it doesn't it doesn't vibrate. It feels like an electric shaver or something. There's no vibrations. It was
Amazing.
so fucking cool.
Well, I'd love to see.
He has the coolest shit ever.
Of course he does. Yeah.
Fuck.
Of course he does.
Damn, you want to be Jay Leno?
I just want his cars.
Best retirement. He's building a Rolls Royce. So he got a 19. I think it's a 34.
I was gonna say, what is his latest project?
Yeah, so he's
the tank
building
car
a
and-
1934 Rolls Royce chassis that has a Spitfire airplane engine in it, and it's a 27-liter V12, and he 3D printed the intake manifold for it.
Of course he did. Yeah.
And it runs Webers, runs 12 Webers. He said he's got the only Spitfire engine in the world that runs Webers.
Of course he does.
And it makes 1,000 horsepower. No turbos.
Holy cow.
Nothing. Just
motor.
motor.
Those engines were crazy originally.
Yeah,
Forget
20
it. Yeah.
fucking liters, dude. 22 liters. And it's coach built. He made the body, or his people made a body that looks like it could have been from the 30s easily.
Wow.
See if you can see Spitfire Rolls Royce.
I was gonna say, did he post any photos of this?
He drove it, he said, with no body on it. So it was like, it's fast as fuck. It's scary.
Of course
Super
it is.
scary.
Of course it is.
And he said it's at 100 miles an hour. It's the sketchiest thing, ever.
I'm not surprised. Probably that's
And
10.
it runs like a Dodge truck, 6-speed gearbox, and there it is.
'Cause it
Rolls
has
Royce
to.
with Spitfire Merlin
Is
V12
that it right
engine.
there?
Yeah. Shit, I don't know.
That's
it's
the
one of those.
tank.
It's not the Blastoline car, but it's
Blastoline is.
It's
what
like
I'm thinking.
top left. I think is no, that's not it. That's not it. I don't know.
Amazing.
But it's like as crazy as you think it would be.
Yeah, for sure.
But also, it looks like if you didn't know immediately, like if you close the engine bonnet, it has a big exhaust. But besides that, it just kind of looks like it doesn't have like drag tires on it. It has little skinny shit tires on it.
I mean, if I had his money, that's the kind of thing I'd be into because I'd be done with. I wouldn't be done with regular cars. I mean, but you know what I mean. I'd just be so into the unique, crazy, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Goes to him.
If you can, why not? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, his retirement is kick the fuck ass.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
He is really chilling.
And wearing denim. Yeah.
Yeah, although he's
Constantly.
given up the denim shirt.
Oh, really?
He's given up the denim shirt. He now has like a Jay Leno's garage polo he was wearing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was that an NBC contract line item?
No, it's a I now
I
sell
don't
car
think
care.
you think.
Yes, it is.
It was. He's got.
I
I
know,
got.
so-
That was
yeah,
my
that's
prize. Was a Jay Leno car care kit.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
actually open the box yet.
Yeah.
Think it's any good?
That's why he's got the polo, is because they're
a very
car care thing.
Very,
Right.
very likely.
Yeah.
it is.
Right.
I just saw. You guys know Dave Patterson, that dude in
Yeah,
blue.
yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
He's singing, slinging
He's starting-
wax too, right?
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw
that.
Patterson car care.
Which that goes back to the YouTube thing there.
Get
You
your
know?
money off of it.
Clearly, yeah.
Yeah.
Do anything you could think of to get your money off of YouTube for sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely. Let's see. Is there anything else on the agenda? You guys have a flight to catch shortly. I know. I don't want to. I don't want to keep you guys.
No worries.
You got to go to the
No worries.
airport. But
I mean,
wait.
we're doing 2 podcasts a week. We do every
How has that
Tuesday,
worked for
every
you?
Friday. It's been great for us.
Because you were doing 1 and then you went to 2, right?
Yeah, we went to 2.
Yeah.
It's like 18 months or so ago, I guess.
And the numbers double.
The numbers have improved a lot. Here's the interesting thing. What we've noticed as a result of doing 2 is that we don't have any single episode that spikes all of a sudden, because our listenership, if you will, is spread over about 4 episodes at once. So all 4 of the latest episodes are kind of rising at once. We don't ever have we drop an episode and it's like this huge splash. So we've noticed, if you will, we don't have an episode that's like the episode, but in general our numbers have gone up, which has been cool.
That's interesting.
So that took a while to kind of shake out, but that's definitely the trend we've seen. So we're doing that, and of course we're shooting for TV season 3, which starts first week of July. So there's a lot going on between now and then. And then in August we're doing pilgrimage trip for this year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
the
guys
brother's been there in
thinking
podcast.
Pebble Beach? Are you thinking come out? Or what are you thinking?
I'm actually going to be there. I'm glad you
are?
brought that up.
Yeah.
I decided to go this year. We haven't
Cool.
been in 2.
Yeah.
Todd's going to be out on vacation. He's got a wedding anniversary to go celebrate, and just go take some time off. But I'm going to definitely be there.
Great.
Yeah.
I will probably see you there.
Planning
If
on
not.
it.
Great.
Nice.
What do you want to plug? Everyday Driver on YouTube, Everyday Driver on Vimeo, Everyday Driver on Velocity. Anything else?
Yes, and
All the above.
Instagram as well. So you can see our Instagram page. And people know on the podcast, we ask for questions. just before we podcast. So the day that we podcast, we're asking for, hey, ask us questions.
On what
just
platform?
Like on all three, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. But Instagram has become a favorite of ours.
Yeah.
I know it has for a lot of people, but we're working on this side and building that up and working on that. So like us, follow us, ask us questions on social media. Bring it.
For sure. Yeah.
We like that.
Thank you, boys. Well, we are now doing Tuesdays and Thursdays. If you haven't figured it out, we're doing 2 episodes a week now.
Cool.
And then Wednesdays is Watch and Listen, my new podcast all about watches. We will have a G-Shock day the next time Paul comes to LA.
Love it.
Be preprepared to bring multiple G-Shocks. Do you have multiple G-Shocks or just that one?
I have one. People ask me about this blue G-Shock.
Well, we're going to have to get more.
Yeah, we are. We're going to need some more.
We're going to need more G-Shocks. But and what else do I have to promote? Anything? I'm doing one new car review a week for the next couple weeks as well. I have a few of those in the can. Yeah, I'm only doing new cars really, but I definitely am not abandoning that entirely.
But it's what you can do with press cars too, right?
It's press cars. Yeah, it's press cars.
That's nice.
I love the fans, and I had a great time driving their cars, but there's just a lot of comfort that comes with driving press cars that I don't have when I drive fan cars. Although it doesn't mean I didn't appreciate all the fans.
No, I get
and that's all. The Smoking Tire Podcast is, as always, powered by Shout Engine. Get your own damn podcast at shoutengine.com. It literally takes 5 minutes, as I actually learned when I started Watch and Listen. It really does take like 5 minutes. And I got onto iTunes within 24 hours, and I got into Google Play within 24 hours after starting my podcast. That took months when we started this podcast. It took forever to get into iTunes. Months.
Yeah.
And I did it on day one for the new show. So it's gotten much easier. And thank you guys for coming in.
Thanks for having us on.
It's always a pleasure.
Great to
It's
see
an open
you.
invite. And thank you for listening. Good day, people.